Hey guys, and today I wanted to do a little bit of a different video. I'm going to talk about the AI gun slop that permeates YouTube's, gun content and really everything else. And I specifically want to talk about this channel, Survival Gear. Now, the video that I'm going to be talking about today is 10 reasons why the Ruger Mini 14 smashes the AR-15, which is ridiculous to think about. The Ruger Mini 14 is a great gun in its own respect, but obviously it's not going to even compete against the AR-15 when it comes to accessibility, performance, cost, everything, and I'm going to break down that as we go on the video. So yeah, let's get to it.
Today we're diving into a debate that's been stirring the firearms community for years. The Ruger Mini 14 versus the AR-15. Both platforms have been around for quite some time, with the AR-15 having been designed around 1956 and adopted by the U.S. military as the M16 as early as 1962. On the other hand, the Ruger Mini 14 was introduced in 1973, designed by none other than Bill Ruger and Jim Sullivan, one of the minds behind the legendary M16.
So that's like saying that the mechanic at your Subaru dealership is responsible for innovating your WRX. Jim Sullivan, well, he did a great fucking job improving upon Eugene Stoner's design. The AR-15 that eventually got sold to Colt was pretty much the design that the M16 would be. There were significant improvements upon it, but saying that Jim Sullivan is one of the minds behind the M16 is kind of ridiculous and far-fetched.
The Mini 14's design was heavily influenced by the iconic M1 Garand and M14 rifles, which were praised for their
True.
robustness and dependability. Now the AR-15 often gets the spotlight, but I'm here to show you why the Ruger Mini 14 might just be the better choice for your needs. Let's break it all down. The Mini 14 has a lower and more conservative profile. It looks more like a hunting rifle when it is, in fact, a tactical semi-automatic rifle in an intermediate cartridge. Why does that matter? Well,
Yeah, why does it matter? I mean, the only way that you're ever gonna get people that keep wanting to try and take away your rights from doing that is by standing your ground. You shouldn't get a Ruger Mini 14 because you want to be less assuming to all of the fucking people that you might interact with while you're taking your gun out to your car, which is probably none. Or at the range, which if some fucking FUD is giving you a hard time at the range about your AR-15, you can just watch him cry in the corner as he picks up brass for his 1911 that went out of style about 40 years ago. If you want to get a Ruger Mini 14, just get one because you want a Mini 14. They're great guns. This definitely isn't a slam piece on the Mini 14. It's a great gun, and I recommend it should be in anyone's collection, but not just because you want to be more appealing to, gun grabbers and shit.
in today's climate, firearms that look military style can sometimes attract unwanted attention. Whether it's at the range or during political debates, the Mini 14's appearance is much more unassuming. It looks like a hunting rifle, not an assault weapon. This can be a major plus for
Fucking assault weapon. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. This just screams Chat GPT. I mean, Vintage Warfare did a video on AI gun slop, and he fucking raked this guy over the coals. I just wanted to throw in my opinion, but assault weapon. Oh man, I can't wait for that to go away.
those who value discretion or live in areas with stricter regulations around semi-automatic rifles. In my experience, you're less likely to have your nosy
That I will give him that. I will give AI man that. That if you live in some horrible, cancerous communist state like California, this is probably your only option when it comes to a semi-automatic 5.56 that isn't butt-fucked by the government.
neighbors call the cops if they see you taking your Mini 14 to your truck compared to your big, intimidating AR-15. Plus, who doesn't appreciate a
The only people that find an AR-15 intimidating are people that have never held and used one. It's basically a proven statistic.
rifle that combines performance with timeless good looks? And while the Mini 14 is much more subtle than the AR-15, it performs just as well and is almost as capable. If you're looking for a workhorse, the Mini 14 is hard to beat. Its rugged design and construction make it incredibly durable in a variety of environments.
It's not more reliable than the AR. It's like you take care of your weapon and it's going to function fine. I mean, this is based off of the M1 Garand, which, if you didn't know, actually is what the AK-47 is based off of. The long stroke gas piston is more based off of the M1 Garand than it is the Sturmgewehr. Mikhail Kalashnikov said as much. So M1 Garand and Mini 14 are very reliable. As reliable as an AR-15, sure. Is this a reason you should buy one? Fuck no.
Both platforms have had their crosses to bear. In the early years, the M16 was plagued when the military changed the powder being used in the 5.56 rounds, which led to reliability issues. To make the problem worse, troops were told that the weapon was self-cleaning and never needed to be cleaned. In fact, no cleaning gear was issued initially. One thing the Mini
That is completely irrelevant to the modern AR-15. I brought it up in my M16 video, which if you haven't seen it, click here if you give a shit. I like it. It's my favorite video that I've made. But I brought that up, and it's like, that's not like to the detriment of the modern AR-15. That was a problem with the original M16, which was ironed out by 1969. So that has nothing to do with the AR-15's modern reliability.
14 does better than the AR-15 is the ease of maintenance. The Mini 14 operates using a robust gas piston system, which is cleaner and more forgiving than the AR-15's direct impingement system.
Here it is. Here's what Vintage Warfare is talking about. Gas impingement bad. No, not really. It's one, the Mini 14 is more difficult to disassemble or field strip than the AR-15, which is literally you click a pin and then you pull out your bolt carrier, and that's like as broad and as basic as it gets. This is fucking ridiculous, and I'm skipping this because that not be a good reason.
Travels down a tube to the rifle's bolt carrier and pushes the bolt and bolt carrier back, chambering a fresh cartridge on its return. Critics correctly state that this process deposits fouling and hot gases into the bolt and chamber area. Although I don't think it's as big an issue as some folks make it out to be, it does dirty the components, and that's a fact.
Well, I mean, yeah, your gun's gonna get dirty if you fire it. But I guess at least the Chat GPT log that he typed out, the computer typed out, included that.
On the other hand, the Mini 14 keeps those gases separate, meaning less grime, fewer jams, and a rifle that runs smoothly even after extended use in less than ideal conditions.
The performance is about the same, so.
For those of you who don't want to spend hours scrubbing carbon buildup off your rifle, the Mini 14's design is a
It takes literally like 10 minutes max, especially for the AR-15. You could probably do that in 5 minutes. You're not sitting there fucking scrubbing away. Now, the Ruger Mini 14, that might actually be a little more difficult to clean, but not by much.
clear winner. Another cool feature is the cold hammer forged barrel, which gives the Mini 14 greater durability and a longer barrel life. Plus, you can get it
Gun come with part that I can easily buy for other gun that I already have. Fuck.
completely stainless from the factory, which is great for high humidity, saltwater, or coastal environments.
Or, you could just have the gun Parkerized or Cerakoted, like most fucking guns nowadays. It's like, sure, does it look good? Is this a positive? I guess. By much? Not really.
While it's not completely rust-proof, the stainless option is a nice touch.
And then he says it's not even completely rust proof. It's like, well, if you're so worried about rust, then why is this even on the table as a positive? I mean, yeah, it looks good, but when we're talking about durability and tarnish, come on.
The Mini 14 has also sometimes had a reputation for spotty reliability. This stems from aftermarket magazines, most of which aren't reliable. If you want the ultimate reliability for your Mini 14, use Ruger factory magazines and don't waste your time and money on imitations. Aside from that, both of these platforms are really pretty darned reliable. What's more, the Mini 14 has the advantage of being shorter. When you compare an out-of-the-box fixed stock Mini 14 to a Colt 6920, they're almost identical in terms
Yeah, so much easier to carry that no military ever has used this gun. So fucking practical.
of overall length and weight,
Yeah, that polymer construction, that shit really fucking weighs the gun down. Wow, that's stock right there. Much heavier than that wooden stock.
similar to a basic M4. However, the Mini 14's recoil assembly is situated forward of the stock, unlike the AR-15. This design allows you to shorten the stock if needed. There are also plenty of folding stocks available.
If you fire your gun with the stock closed, you are doing yourself not only a disservice, but you make yourself look like a fucking idiot. The reason that a folding stock exists is for storage and carrying the weapon in cramped conditions, like in the back of a APV or in a tank if you use a smaller weapon as a tanker. It's like having the folded stock means basically nothing when it comes to actually using the weapon.
For the Mini 14, making it much more maneuverable, easier to carry, and more convenient to pack. Ruger even produced a factory stock with an A-Team style, though I'm not sure if they still offer it. Despite being shorter, the Mini 14 boasts a significantly longer sight radius than the AR-15. Both rifles have the rear sight at the back of the receiver, but the Mini 14 features a pinned front sight base nearly all the way to the muzzle. In contrast, the M4's front sight is positioned closer to the end of the carbine-length handguard. Even with a mid-length gas system, the sight radius of the
I
AR-15 is
mean,
shorter compared to the
enough
Mini
to matter,
14.
not really. If you're running like a DOE or like a car 15, and the DOE is shorter, I should use that more. If you're running like a DOE or a tiny little fucking 5-inch barrel, obviously that's going to make a big difference when it comes to sight radius. But the difference between the M16, a full length 20-inch barrel M16, and the Ruger Mini 14 is negligible, and same goes with something with just a regular 16-inch barrel.
Here's another area where the Mini 14 pulls ahead: value for money. There's been much debate regarding whether the Mini 14 is as cost effective as the AR 15. It all
Short answer, no. Long answer, absolutely the fuck not. Like, I'm gonna let this play before I talk about it.
depends on how you look at it. Can you get a quality AR 15 for under $1,000? Yes. Then again, your definition of quality is subjective. Many people don't feel comfortable unless they get an AR 15 from one of the expensive manufacturers, some of which will set you back well over $2,000. A Mini 14 will probably cost around $1,000 new. However, if you're patient and shop around, there are deals to be had. You can sometimes find them barely used for well under $1,000. You're getting a rifle that's built to
So, if you pay $2,000 for an AR-15, it's your money. Do what you want, but I think that's a waste of money. Sure, Daniel Defense or fucking any of the primo, gun manufacturers, you're gonna have something that's super high quality, super fucking the upper echelon when it comes to the AR-15. No one, well, I should say not no one, not many people are paying plus $1,000 or $2,000 for an AR-15. I built mine for like $500. You could easily build one for 300 if you get deals. Will it be as great a quality as the 2,000 or even $1,000 AR-15? Of course not. That's just how it's going to work. But the difference in quality between a $500 AR and a $1,000 Ruger Mini 14 is they're about the same. Why would you pay for something that is not as good when there's no contest? I'm not buying a Mini 14. I'm buying an AR-15 because if I'm saving money, I'm going to save as much money as I can within reason.
last with fewer parts to worry about upgrading or replacing. For many people, that simplicity adds a lot of value. And when you factor in its reliability, ease of use, and versatility, the Mini 14 often ends up being the better long-term investment. Another way the Mini 14 outshines the AR-15 is through its array of stock options. The AR-15 has a buffer
Yes,
tube
the
that fits
Ruger Mini
inside the
14
stock, which
really
means it needs a
outshines the
stock or at least a
AR-15 in stock options. It's got the folding stock and it's got a solid stock. Is that not enough for you? You don't want just 2 options? Oh, you want, the literally hundreds of options that there are when it comes to the buffer tube. Buffer tube, not my favorite. Wish it didn't exist. Is it a function of the way that the weapon works? Of course. Does it need to be there? Fucking absolutely.
buffer tube protruding from the rear. In contrast, the Mini 14 doesn't have a protruding buffer tube, making it perfect for folding stocks.
Yeah, you can get a folding stock adapter for your AR. You just can't fire it while it's folded, which if, you go by what I said earlier, isn't a problem. You shouldn't be firing the weapon folded. Fucking retarded. There's literally hundreds of options when it comes to the AR-15's buffer tube. Like, why? How is this a plus? I'm having a fucking conniption fit.
Factory folding stock was incredibly popular, and now Samson produces these stocks under license from Ruger. Trust me, these stocks are fantastic. They fold up into a compact package while still
Trust me, says the person who's probably never even fired one of these.
being comfortable to shoot when extended. The pistol grip also improves control. The standard stocks are also great. My Mini 14 came with a synthetic black stock from the factory, which is durable but not very attractive.
Yeah, I don't believe them. I don't believe that they have a Mini 14. I fired one. I don't own one because I'm not spending the money on it. But I don't I don't at all believe that they actually have one. That's bullshit.
I ended up buying a wooden factory stock from a friend, and I couldn't be happier with it. Overall, the Mini 14 can be shorter and more maneuverable thanks to the potential for a shorter stock. With the folding stock, it's incredibly easy to store, too. So, why is the Ruger Mini 14 better than the AR 15? For starters, it's simpler, more reliable, and less intimidating in its appearance. It's perfect for people who want a dependable, no nonsense rifle that performs well in a variety of situations. Whether you're hunting, defending your property, or just enjoying some time at the range, the Mini 14 is a fantastic option. It might not have the flashy reputation of the AR 15, but it makes up for that with rugged reliability and classic charm. At the end of the day, it all comes down to your needs and preferences. But if you ask me, the Mini 14 deserves way more credit than it gets. So what do you think? Are you
I mean, I wouldn't say that the Mini 14 is at all uncredited when it comes to doing what it does. It's a great gun, and it was great for the time, but now we have so many options that are significantly better, and people aren't going to be using these as ranch guns. People, if they're buying one, they're buying one because they want a Mini 14, not because they want a better option than the R15, which, like, if you're going to be paying for a better option than the AR-15, actually buy one. It's going to cost more, but in terms of affordability and ease of use and simplicity and practicality and all these other factors, the AR-15 is significantly better.
Team Mini 14 or Team AR 15? Let me know in the comments below. And don't
But you have your fucking standard call to action. I'm done. So, is the Ruger Mini 14 better than the AR-15? Absolutely not. Not in any slight sort of context. Is it a great gun? Absolutely. It's basically a M1 Garand chambered in 5.56. Now, obviously, it's not that simple. It's not that simple of a comparison, but to the layman, that's pretty on brand. And should you own one? If you want one, go ahead. Should you own one because you don't want to get an AR-15? It's your money. I'm not going to tell you how to make stupid decisions when it comes to paying for guns, but if you want something that is going to be overall a more dynamic and practical gun, get an AR. I'm done with this. The video's over. This is my first time doing a reaction, I guess. I know I said that it isn't really a reaction video, but I hate this channel, and I'm probably going to talk about it more because I hate myself. So if you like this video, like it. If you hated it, dislike it. Leave something in the comments. Tell me whether or not you would purchase a Mini 14, and tell me about how I'm wrong, because those people always exist. Thank you, and bye.